Hey everyone, Merric here, and this is the Universim bi-weekly update thing that I've started. Well, let's give a little bit of backstory. So I've done a lot of Universim videos, at least for my channel, and there's not a lot to do right now, and the game is starting to feel a bit stale, which is the worst thing that could happen to a series on my channel, is where I get bored with it, because then I don't want to play it anymore. So instead of putting out video after video where we're doing the exact same thing of just watching the Nuggets bang, expanding our empire until the Nuggets potato out and stop doing anything, we're going to do something a bit different. I'm actually going to look at the bi-weekly info update that they put out on January 22nd, which is the last info update that they put out, and we're going to go through it and talk about some of the stuff. So the first thing that they've done in this update, which I'll put a link to the update in the description below, they've changed the name of the warehouse. So they're changing the concept of the warehouse and the name of it to make it a little bit more descriptive, I would say. They're calling it the Resource Distribution Center, I believe. Let's see here. Nope, it's the Gatherer's Hut. I was wrong. It's going to act as the Resource Distribution Center. Okay, so that's even more confusing. So instead of a warehouse, we're going to have a Gatherer's Hut. I wonder how this will play out in future revisions? That's not the right word. Eras. There we go. So when you go into, say, the modern era, you're still going to have a Gatherer's Hut, or will it be renamed once you reach the modern era to Warehouse, which is something I think would be a little bit more period appropriate. As things evolve, we can kind of rename things to be a little bit cooler than Gathering Hut, considering I don't really think there'll be a lot of huts in the future. So what's it going to do? Well, it's going to distribute food, stone, and basically everything that the warehouse did, but it looks like they're trying to revise it so that it's a little more informative and it's a little easier to understand what's going on. They're also going to make it a little more central to what you do, so it doesn't store resources like it used to, but it will allow you to build stashes for that purpose. So when you have currently in the game, what you have is you have this little location where everybody dumps everything, sort of like in Clockwork Empires. You establish this little area, and all the resources and stuff are stashed in that. Well, they're going to do something similar. You put down the Gatherer's Hut, and then several stashes can be created: a stone stash, metal stash, wood stash, oil storage, gas storage, and food stash. I don't know how well this is going to work out. I don't know how it's going to evolve. We'll just have to see. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I think that they're looking to organize stashes and make the resource piles a little more informative at a glance, which is going to be really, really useful for when you are actually trying to manage your resources. Because right now you just have little piles that represent X number of things, but they don't actually give you any kind of visual cue. You have to look down in your bottom bar, and there's some inaccuracies there, and when you can just actually look and get a visual glance of, okay, how much wood do I have, how much stone do I have, how much food do I have, I think that'll be better. So I'm happy with that change. So they actually listed out what the resource points will be for each stash stage. So it has 7 states, which 7 is actually a bit much for the resource states, and I imagine they'll pare that down. It's like from 1 to 2, 3 to 6, 7 to 12, 13 to 25, 26 to 50, 51 to 100, 100 to infinity. I think you could probably actually make that from like 1 to 12, 12 to 50, 51 to infinity, and just cut down the visual cues, because I don't think we need, that finite of a control, especially when you get into the larger civilizations. You're going to run into issues where you've got all these varying stacks of just like itty-bitty information heights, and I don't really think that's going to be as useful, and I imagine they'll pare that down as it rolls out. Stone stashes hold stone piles. That's good. And stone buildings stash building requirements. So you have to build stash buildings now, or you're going to have to. So you have to build a stone stash, which will be their little quarry where you drop all your cut stone. And a stone stash will cost 10 wood, 25 stone. Metal stash, 10 wood, 25 stone. Wood stash, 10 wood, 25 stone. Oil storage is 100 metal, 100 stone, 100 wood. And the same thing for gas storage as well. And we are looking at food storage of 10 and 25. I don't know why they've got food down below gas and oil. That kind of bugs me. I'm a little bit picky of putting things in similar piles. The concept art looks great, but none of that's in game, so we'll see. Pickup and drop off point. Each gatherer's hut has a pickup spot, and there's a spot on gathering huts where nuggets drop off resources, and then one of your workers will come out, collect resources, and distribute it, I guess. There's couriers now. That's an interesting change, having couriers come out and carry more resources. I don't know how they're going to implement that, whether you set a nugget up as a courier, or whether they've gathered stuff for so long they become skilled at that point where they become a courier, and what's the timeline for doing that, because nuggets tend to die pretty quickly in the game. Upcoming features list. Here's a small list of some alpha version 5, I think they mean pre-alpha, version 5 release changes in addition to that have been planned out or are close to completion. It's a very awkward way of saying it. While the team has every intent of including all below listed items, some are still a work in progress and may not make the release date. Research screen redesign. That's nice. We've talked about that in a previous video. I would like to see that done. Stockpiling tutorial, that's good too, because I'd like to know how the stockpiling works. Nugget status tab, show what they're carrying. Marginally helpful, not so much right now, but in the future that'll become really helpful. Priority panel update, don't know what that's going to be. Creator power menu, would love to get my hands on some creator powers, or at least just see the menu. Work clothes, I guess they're going to put nuggets in outfits for when they're working, which is kind of cool. And more bug fixes and optimization, which of course we know we need. And then they've got new team members, Jeffrey Clark and Landon Kirk, who came on. That's awesome, a full-time programmer and a part-time programmer. So great. I love it when we see them growing, and we'll just have to see what they do, because I think they need all the help they can get. And finally, they have a list of available languages, which is awesome. So they're basically doing the standard. So in the games industry, there's basically a standard list of languages that you want to cover when you release a game internationally. And that list consists of English, French, Italian, German, Spanish, and Russian. Sometimes you want to throw other languages on there as your localization needs expand, but those are the core languages you want to support. The fact that they're going to have more languages implemented when the final game launches is awesome. That means that they can drop it into more areas with less ramp-up time or issues, because they've already got it all localized, which is beautiful. And they've locked down the stretch goals. We've talked about that as well in the last video. They're going to stop doing stretch goals. That's freaking awesome. They need to stop adding features to the game and actually start completing features. Adding features to the game's list, I should say. Expanding scope is a dangerous thing, and I'm glad that they're locking it down and focusing on implementing the planned content, because eventually they would just get wildly out of scope and not be able to finish the game and would let everybody down. So awesome. Good job on locking that down. So that's pretty much it. They're doing another mini contest soon with more monsters to name, so look for that, I guess. That's it. So the next update's coming on February 5th, which is 4 days from now, and we will definitely check that out when it gets dropped. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you understand why I didn't want to play another video, or do another video on this and just do the same thing, because it's getting a little stale and I want to try to keep it fresh. And I think dropping some of these discussive style videos where I read the patch notes and talk about what's coming up would be good. Let me know what you guys think. If you want to see more of this, Let me know in the comment section below, and if you enjoyed it, click the like button. And if you enjoyed this and you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button and check out some of the videos where I actually do things, because that would be awesome. Alright, I'm going to wrap it up here. Hope you guys had a great day, and I'll see you next time.